Hey guys, so we're here with a little online course Q&A. And today's question has to do with protecting your online course content and preventing people from stealing it or sharing it when they purchase their program. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this so I don't butcher it. I just purchased this program and I wanted to see your thoughts.
I noticed that you can only log in from one browser or platform at a time.
Is this because of a problem with the platform, or is this on purpose to prevent people from sharing, quote unquote, aka stealing the course and sharing with other people? And the answer to that is yes, it is done intentionally to prevent people from being able to access the course at the same time and diminish the amount of people that are going to be sharing that content. So when it comes to this topic, because it's a big topic for people, like you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating this program and sharing it with the world, like the last thing that you want is someone to basically steal from you because that pisses you off. But keeping in mind that also every single business in the history of the world has to deal with this problem. If you had a brick and mortar store, you're not gonna not go into business because you're afraid of someone stealing a shirt. Like it's going to happen, and I think you need to go into it with that mindset that yes, people are going to steal from you. I know I've had my course stolen multiple times from these cheap third-party hackers that then take Online Courses Academy. They download it, or they try to download it, and then they put it on this horrible website saying that it's $200. I would be amazed at what they're actually getting when someone buys that. But it's just part of the territory. And you don't ever want to prevent yourself from creating a course because you're so scared of some people stealing it. And the thing is, it's gonna happen. But with that said, you want to do your due diligence to prevent that from happening. So when thinking about these things, it's a balance between, yes, you want to do your due diligence from not allowing people or not making it super easy for people to share access. Like one person buy the course and then they share it with 10 of their friends. But you also want to keep in mind the user experience first and foremost. I think that's the most important. And then whatever is a acceptable standard, then put that into place. So a lot of membership site platforms have security features like this, where you can prevent people from simultaneously logging in. You can also set a criteria for a certain number of IP addresses that someone's allowed to log in within a specified time period. So for Membarium, for instance, you can set how many IP addresses you want someone to be able to access the course in a certain period of time, and then after that, they would be locked out. So if you're not familiar with what IP addresses are, IP addresses is like the ID for your internet access. And so anytime you go to a new place, typically you're going to have a different IP address that you're logging in with. And so if I was at my apartment, that would be one IP address. If I went to the office, that would be a second one. If I went to lunch at a restaurant, that could be a third one. And then if I went to a friend's house afterwards, after work, and I needed to log into the course, that would be a fourth one. I think 4 within 24 hours is like probably the max that most normal people would be logging into a course. Like even that's a lot. At the top of the range, I don't think there would be any, if any, very, very few and far between, where someone was more than like 6 within 24 hours. So at that point, you could put that into place, and I don't think that would diminish the experience for the user at all. The simultaneous logins, that's something that would annoy me for me personally, because I am very often logged in on my computer, logged in on my iPad, logged in on my phone, and then sometimes even logged in on my MacBook. Like I'm always moving around, and that would be very annoying to me to be booted out every time when I wanted to like hop devices, just because I personally do that very frequently. For this course in particular, I do understand why they choose this option, because there's a ton of people joining. And so they're very susceptible and prone to people stealing the content. And it's a lot harder to track when you have that many people in the program at once. Because there are ways, if you're not aware of this and you're thinking about stealing content and sharing logins, like you can see how many different IP addresses a certain user is logging in with. And so that would be very embarrassing, I would think, to that customer if they weren't aware that you knew that, and that you saw that someone from California was logging in at the same time as Florida and then another person in Chicago. Like obviously, like you're not in 3 places at one time. At least I don't think so. That would be some magical stuff going on. Yeah, so just keep that in mind, that when you can track that, you could get flags or notifications set up to where if you see someone coming in at a bunch of different IP addresses, then you could address the issue then. The other thing to keep in mind is with page tracking. So all that platform that does the analysis of where people click on the course, like they're videotaping the actual course content. And so you can track what people are doing at any time, really, by logging in. And I don't know, you get the point. There's things that you can do to really track it if you want. But again, don't hinder yourself or don't prevent yourself from sharing your value, from sharing your genius, from creating a course that has the potential to give you unlimited financial freedom and also impact so many people because you have such a limited or scarcity mindset. At the end of the day, yes, people are going to steal. You know what? Karma's a bitch. It happens. Be ready for it. But I think that is a very, very small price to pay for all of the benefits that exist out there. And so the last thing I wanted to end with is there are other things that you can put into place that really prevent people from possibly buying the course once and with their friends and then sharing access. And that's by incorporating a community or other components within the program, such as a private Facebook group. There's only one Facebook member that's allowed to join for the course that was purchased. And so if you have a really thriving and engaged community, people are going to want to be a part of that. And they're going to be a lot less likely to share access when they know that they're not going to be able to be involved in that community aspect or do the competitions or the challenges or get the emails or bonuses that might come up when you have that component as well. Same thing with live office hours. So like that's what I call it for Online Courses Academy. Live Zoom call where people can sign up or sign in once a week for an hour and we answer questions, talk about like any challenges they're overcoming, like collaboration, just general life, which is sometimes the most fun. And then that's like, you can't have two people coming on at the same time and be like, who are you? What are you doing here? So those are really, really valuable things. And I talk about this in a lot more detail in my videos on why I think creating a community is the ultimate competitive advantage when it comes to creating your online course. But from a different standpoint, it's also something that will prevent people from sharing access because only one person can be in that community. And by the way, I absolutely love it when you post questions because it makes my job of creating content so much easier. Post them below wherever I post this, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. And I'll talk to you guys soon.